Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you here today. Guoyan Fashi will be speaking about dreams. And I'm just reminded of a children's song about row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So Guoyan Fashi is a Buddhist monk who was trained in the Chan Buddhism tradition. In 1985, he first encountered Master Sheng Yen, his teachings, while attending a 7-day retreat in New York. He then decided to become a disciple before finally leaving his job in Toronto, Canada, to become a monk in the Chan tradition. He was ordained in 1987 in Taiwan. For over 20 years, he accompanied and became translator to Master Sheng Yen in various Chan meditation retreats in the United States, in the United Kingdom, Germany, Switzerland, Russia, and Mexico. He studied Theravada Buddhism for a year in Thailand in 1991. Upon returning from Thailand, Guoyan Fashi was elected abbot of both the Chan Meditation Center in Queens, New York, and the Dharma Drum Retreat Center in Pine Bush, New York. His responsibilities included attending interfaith services, teaching meditation, and giving lectures on Buddhism. In 2006, he became the director of the International Chan Retreat Center in Dharma Drum Mountain, Taiwan. In 2016, he returned to Pine Bush to become once again the abbot of the DDRC, fluent in Mandarin, Vietnamese, and English. He leads Chan retreats in many countries around the world. We are so fortunate to have him with us today to share the Dharma. Please bring your palms together and bow and welcome Guoyan Fashi.
Eric, maybe you could help me to bring to the screen. Eric?
You are in the screen.
I don't see myself.
Ricky, tell him that he's on there. I can see him now.
Good morning, everyone. Maybe, first of all, thank you for the introduction. And why don't we just start with the joining our palms and just feel ourselves right there with the palms. Place our awareness to the tips of the middle fingers. Okay, thank you. May put your hands down. So the talk of sharing today, it's on dreams. Sounds very easy because we all have dreams. And we have a lot of dreams every day, almost every day. And but we don't really understand what exactly is the meaning of it. Some will have very happy dreams. Some will have a very bad dreams. Certain time becomes a nightmare and continue on. And there are people who come to America bringing the dream with them because there's a saying of you make dreams and your dream may come true. And what about yourself? When your dream come true, what do you feel? Dreams presents in many forms, and people just try to interpret what is it that a dream telling us. People will dream of themselves flying, and then below there are people who applaud you. But also people will dream of falling and getting trapped or being chased. And dreaming of eating. There are many forms that just present there to us. Sometimes we remember dreams very, very clearly. Sometimes we don't remember our dreams and it becomes very vague. And certain times the dreams that come to us is in black and white. It's kind of blurry. It's not really clear. But certain times the dream is so clear that it's very colorful, very bright. I'll share my experience with you. There was maybe 40 years or 50 years ago when I was a still a lay person. At that time, I stayed in Toronto, Canada. And I was taking care of a center, a Buddhist center that they just acquired a 6-story building. It used to be a nightclub. 6 stories nightclub. It's quite a huge one. And I was the only one that is staying there. In the beginning, I was a little bit scared because nobody around. I was running up and down, doing my daily chores. The feeling is uncomfortable because I just by myself. It's kind of nice, you know, to be just one person and going up and down the big buildings. I feel like kind of free there. And then one night, I dreamt. The dream was so colorful, and I went back to Vietnam, actually. The dream was in Vietnam. In the dream, I was in Vietnam. And there was, all of a sudden, I saw a golden figure, not a Buddha, but it's a golden figure of a certain deity that we worship in a temple, and it's emit the light. And when I was looking at it, and I feel so kind of amazed by the figure itself, by the golden figure that it emits light. And that's it. And when I woke up, I feel like I try to interpret, what is it that's going on with my dream? What is it that's telling me? And somehow I think that because at the time that I stayed there, I never been alone before, you know, in the center there. And I was kind of carefree. So I feel very happy about it. So that's a dream. One kind of dream that is very clear to me. Up until now, I still have very clear memory of that. Right. And then I have another dream. This dream is different. At that time, I was still a lay person, and we stay in Toronto. And then one night, somehow I dreamt of my cousin. She was there with me, but she did not say anything at all. And that dream was very, it was kind of short. And then 1 week later, because in the dream it was nothing, nothing, special about it, and nothing happened. I was just seeing her. And 1 week later, our family got the news that she was dead. And she was killed actually in Vietnam. So that was a dream I had. And somehow it just tells me something that maybe is a kind of communication, my cousin with me, that it seems like she's there to say goodbye to me in a dream, something like that. And another one is a monk. That's the monk he shared with me, that when he was sleeping, he felt like something is pressing his body, like having some pressure. And now we have this term called sleep paralysis, right? And then when he felt like this pressing his body, something he didn't know. And what he did was that he just let it be. He was thinking that, well, if you want to press on my body, just let it be. Go ahead. And the moment that he had this thought, then the feeling of being pressure on his body is gone. So we all have dreams, but it comes in a different forms. And we know that usually we had dreams before waking up. And usually the dream is very short, and it's coming to be awake, then we have dreams. But there are dreams that we are in deep sleep. Usually we don't have dreams. And of course, dreams could be coming from our past lives experience. Usually it's something that is having a very deep impression on us from the past. Then it's possible that we have dreams. And there are dreams that coming from our childhood, where again, there's something very traumatic happen to a child. Then it just have that deep imprint on us. And sometimes it comes into a dream, into a form of dream to present to us. And then also in our present life, that we experience something that we did not really notice, at the time that we experience something happening. It could be traumatic, it could be pressure, or it could be just very general. But somehow we have this experience or this impression within ourselves, but we did not know. And then it just came to us in a dream. And it's possible that through this dream that we would think that, how come I have this kind of thoughts? Because at the moment that this thing happened, this event happens, I did not have this feeling. But somehow you could say that it's subconsciously, we have some kind of a feeling about it. So it's like it's hidden there, but it revealed to us in a dream. It's possible. And some dreams is coming from telepathy, just like I shared with you about my cousin. But also there's a story about this this abbot. There was a story related to Chan's story. And this abbot was dreaming in a dream the earth god or the earth spirit was telling the abbot that tomorrow the eminent monk will come to visit. And so the morning comes, the abbot was preparing a great assembly to receive this eminent monk. Right? And when the monk come, the eminent monk came. He said that, how come you know that I'm coming? And the abbot said, well, the earth spirit was telling me that you come today. That's why we're here to receive you, welcome you. And the eminent monk said, oh, I should be ashamed of myself. You know why? Why ashamed of himself? Because he said that my practice is not good enough. I only move my thought once, and then even the earth spirit already detected. And he knew that I have to start to come to the monastery today. So my practice is not good, you know. I should be ashamed of myself, you know. I should be more diligent with practice. So this here is telling us that dreams could be coming from some kind of spirit or some kind of, you know, something that we don't know. We call it telepathy, right? So all kinds of dreams that we have. And then, interesting enough, is Ricky, the MC, just tell this song about the children's song about row, row, row your boat, right? It's a rhyme, and it's quite a popular song. But I kind of like this song because of what? Because when we look at it, we see that row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, and merry, 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 merry. Life is but a dream. What is it telling us? Actually, it's not just for children, but it is like something that is a metaphor to our life. Why is it that life is just a dream? In the West, they already knew that our life is a dream. But what do we do in our dream is that we work hard by rolling a boat on and on and on, right? And then we have to do it in such a way that we need to be more relaxed. Say, gently down the stream. The stream is the path of light that we're walking, but by rolling the boat. So in this attitude, we're working hard, diligently, and then going through our life. Not only that, but the attitude is being happy, moment by moment. Which is to say, you can say that this is a song of practice that being relaxed in our mind, relaxed in our body, on and on. And then, okay, we know that life is just like a dream. So in real dreams, dream is very short. But in real life, it's a big dreams. It's a longer dream. And we could closely reflect to ourselves moment by moment of our real life. Are we really? Everything is just like a dream? Well, if you could find, first of all, the real dream at night that we dream of, usually they don't have a beginning, you know. It's just come out with from somewhere, and then it just ends somewhere when we wake up, right? So in the real life here, how do we experience it as a dream? Well, if you have lived, you know, for certain years, and then when you reflect back on your past of this life, moment, certain things that happens, you will find that all these things just come and go and come and go. Certain thing that's like very, very traumatic. Certain things are quite easygoing, and all kinds of feelings within ourselves, it's there. So that is what our dream is about. If you could see it, you know, like it's really short, you know, when we reflect on just this lifetime, it's very short. And it's just like you can say it's like a movie, or you can say that just flashing of memories that come and go and come and go. And could we realize something? What is it that dream in the nighttime? What does it tell us? And then in our everyday living, what is it that we are going through? What is it that is telling us? Certain thing that's telling us is that we move with time and we could never go back to whatever that is already past. The moment just passed, it's just passed. That's it. We have memory, but these things, even though it may happen similarly, but it could only say that similarly, but not the same. It never stops. And therefore, there's a quote in the Diamond Sutra, very famous gatha in the Diamond Sutra, that said, all conditioned phenomena are like dreams. See this word. Like dew and lightning. That is how one should contemplate. Now, it's very important because of the teaching from the Diamond Sutra, which is the system of teaching of emptiness. The conditioned phenomena or the conditioned Dharma here are all these things that we experience in our life. They are coming from different conditions that make it possible. And this related to this is exactly the teaching of the teaching of causes and conditions. Things do not come independently by itself, but they are coming from many, many different conditions that make this possible. And therefore, it's nature itself. The nature itself is empty. We call it empty here, referring to it's keep on changing all the time. Certain thing we know that is changing very quickly. Certain thing we know that we did not know that it's changing, or from the outlook, because it seems like it stays forever. But actually, it's also subject to the so-called changing. So the life that we are going through, it's just like dreams that we have. But this dream is big dream, and the small dream is in nighttime that we dream of something. So that is why it's called illusion. And of course, we know bubbles. Bubbles, just gone, in a moment. Shadow is not the real thing, and we know that. And the dew is the same thing, and the lightning is the same thing. That is come, just flash, and it's gone. And if we keep on contemplate on these states of all the phenomena, then probably when we are in vex, full of vexation, full of emotional afflictions, we just reiterate this poem or this gatha, then we'll be able to be more released, relaxed in that sense. So that is the teaching from the Diamond Sutra. Of course, Diamond Sutra, has a few more of the thing that is valuable for us to learn from. So you may, explore on that. Nowadays, in English, it's already been translated into English, Diamond Sutra. You could search and find out. Another one is that Master Yongjia, in the Tang Dynasty, he also make a poem. It's called a Poem of His Enlightenment. He said something like this. Obviously, there were 6 realms in a dream. Yet, there's no trichiliocosm after awakening. So he uttered this poem referring to before enlightenment, there are 6 realms. Well, in the teaching of the Buddha, 6 realms here referring to samsara, which is the realm of heavenly being, the realm of asuras or demigods, and then the human realms, which is we are in, and then the animal realms, and then the hungry growth realms, and then the hell realms. So these are the 6 realms. In a dream, which is in our real life, before Master Yongjia got enlightened. But after he got enlightened, he said there's no so-called trichiliocosm, which is called billion-fold universe after awakening. So he experienced a state of emptiness. It's there actually, it's whatever that trichiliocosm is there. but he's perceived it as something with the nature of emptiness. Right? So that is his experience of the so-called enlightenment. But if we say something like this, then it seems like we don't have to do anything, because it's empty anyway. Why bother to do things like this? Well, our teacher, Master Sun Yan, told us that a bodhisattva, a great bodhisattva, need to be either great bodhisattva or a bodhisattva that is practicing the bodhisattva way. We practice in a big dream. Why? To awake ourselves and to wake sentient beings up. That is to say, we continue on working because although we have taken the bodhisattva way, but we are not awakened yet. So everything is there. And we have to work in accordingly, diligently, so that we could solve enough virtuous deeds. And then one day, if we are awakened, that is to say, we awaken from the dreams, then we understand. And of course, along the way, we're helping other people to understand it. That is the same with Master Yogya, that before he got enlightened, he was working very hard, putting himself into it and the practice. And of course, the great bodhisattvas like Avalokitesvara, Manjushri Bodhisattva, Samatha Bhatta Bodhisattva, and Siddhika Braja Bodhisattva, all those great bodhisattvas, they already enlightened, but they are still here with us to help us so that we could be awake. We could wake up from our dreams. Exactly because of their compassion, we're seeing that we suffer in a dream, right? And an example of Master Xu, people ask, the thing that he's doing is just like, why he bothered to rebuild the ruined monastery, many of them. In China, it was so busy, one after the other, that he tried to rebuild the monastery, the temples. And he uttered that, although it's like moon reflected in the water, still there are many temples that are needed to be built. Although it's like imaginary flower that comes and go, there are still many of the so-called Buddhist matters that need to be done. Now, he say that the imaginary flowers, but the Buddhist matter is referring to all the Buddhist teachings, ceremonies, temples, although there's nature's emptiness, but still we need to work on it, to do it, and do it all the time, right? And then this this so-called moon reflected. Yeah, moon, there's a moon, but when it's on the water, you can see the reflection from the water. And if the water is with wave, then the moon will deform. And obviously, we know that this is just a reflection. But this so-called the place of the practice is just like the reflected moon. They come and then they being destroyed and then rebuild again. Still need to do it. Because of what? We need to do it so that we could help other people to learn about Buddhism, about the teaching. And then we could be awake from it. And actually, these gathas or these phrases that he uttered actually is, you could say it's very positive in a way. Although it's empty flowers, like imaginary flowers, like if somebody hit us on the head, and then you see spark of flowers in the sky, right? And yeah, although he sees that this is empty, but people need it, so we have to do it. So it's very, very positive, right, to do. And he's very busy, Master Xu Yun, from his picture that we see that he always had beard, very long beard, and then hair is not cut. He always leave his hair uncut. Actually, somebody telling us that, well, when he is coming to a temple, a ruined one, and want to rebuild it, from the moment that he starts on this temple, he will not bother to save his hair, to save his beard, only until he finishes, rebuild the temple, then he will save his hair one. See how diligent he is with doing these things. So he not only that, but he will select a abbot to take care of the place, and then lead them into the study. So in his life is constantly working for the benefit of sentient beings. Right. Now, coming back to the dream, well, still people have dream, right? Now, this lifetime that we're in a dream, but at night is another dream. It's dream within a dream. And Master Sun Yuan one time shared with us a method. He said that before you go to bed, contemplate or visualize on the so-called clarity of brightness to your through your eyes. So when we lie down, we think of the clarity of the mind, or we think of the there's some bright light, not like sunshine, but some kind of clarity that within our head, and visualize that, and just go to sleep. Why do we do that? Is that when you're in sleep, if you sleep begin with a clear mind. Then when we are in a dream, usually it's a bad dream, then we could be clearer that knowing that, oh, I'm in a bad dream. At that moment, you can adjust yourself so that you will not continue with the bad dreams. And it's very importantly, we should relax the body and relax our mind in our daily life. Anything to do with ourselves that we are relaxing with our body and mind. And try so that we will not be so busy with trivial things. Make our life simpler in going through our life, just like the saying of, gently, gently down the stream and merry, 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 merry. It's referring to actually is relaxing the body and mind and have a happy attitude. And go on with that. So that's what happened. And maybe somebody will ask, what happened? What does that mean by this trichiliocosm? Well, the Cosmo idea in Buddhism is that the world that we're in, not just the earth, but the world, there's a system of world here. I would not use the word universe, but in Buddhism, there's a theory like this. That includes the sixth realm that we're in. Right? This one world, and 1,000 of this world is called a small world. Right? A small world, and then 1,000 of this small world, there is a middle world system. And then 1,000 of this middle world system is a large world system. So it becomes, first of all, it's a small world, the system. And then 1,000 of it is a small, we could call it a 1,000 of this small, 1,000 of this make up a world system. It's called a small 1,000 world. A small 1,000-fold world system. So 1,000 of this will form, and then 1,000 of this small 1,000-fold world system become a medium 1,000-fold world system. And 1,000 of this medium world system is called a large. So that word here, trichiliocosm, comes. You can imagine how big it is for this world. So we are in this very small world, actually very tiny, very small. Not only that we see the small, but in reality, when at night, and a clear sky at night, and then when we look up into the sky in the city, usually we don't see it, but when we look at it, at night, and then you see that, wow, out there's so many stars, but each star is it's big, it's very, very big. We can't imagine, so many stars out there, and how big, how small we are in this here is we are very tiny in self. So you could just do this, something like you find that yourself is vexed with something at night, just watch the sky. And whatever that's matter with ourselves here, it's very small, very tiny. It's like a mole of dust. Okay, you see, it's called the world of dust. When the sunshine shining into the through the window, and then you see so many dust. The dust is always there with us, right? So our vexations will easily subside and disappear, because what is it that doesn't matter so much? Okay, so although we are in this world, and then although we are supposedly knowing that, well, everything is causes and conditions in a dream, but still we need to work hard, and until we reach enlightenment. Well, what is it that enlightenment that we're talking about actually is? To realize the state of emptiness that we're in. Then be okay. Then it's not too bad. So I will stop here and see if you have any questions.
If you
So people in the clubhouse, if you have any questions, you can also raise your hand.
if you're in Zoom, you can either chat the question or raise your hand. Okay, there's one question from Martin Cho. So, does a bad dream mean something bad will happen, like your experience with your cousin?
Okay. It depends. Usually, the so-called bad dreams is just like you feel. How do you define bad? In a dream, I did not feel that it's bad because my cousin was just there. It's like giving me a signal that she's saying goodbye to me. So we can say that it's bad or good. Only after I knew that she's passed away, then I feel a kind of, it's so bad, right? So in that way, you think that it's bad. But if you understand, come and go of everything, there's nothing bad about it, right? You just leave from your loved one. But if you think about bad, say, I had a bad dream because so uncomfortable with the dream. Now, dreams is coming from actually the so-called body, speech, and our mind. So whatever that, the physical thing that affect our body, possible that we have dream. And then whatever that is, like before we heard somebody saying something or we say something, we express our feelings, things like that, also affect our dream. And then whatever that is we're thinking, something that leave a very deep impression on us, all these things could cause ourselves to have dreams. So certain thing that we know, okay, because of these things that cause it. Just go for myself when I experience dreams, then all I know is that I never stop thinking. Thoughts that's going on all the time. and these thoughts are going on all the time, referring to what? Referring to this self-centeredness that I have. It never stops. Only when I don't have this ego, then it's the time for awaken. But if I'm in a dream all the time, that means I just chat all the time. Sometimes I'm a director, sometimes I'm the actor. I perform all these things by myself. Anyway, so I try not to really interpret, what is it that telling me? No, I don't go into that, because in the real life we already dream. This, we don't have to say, in the night, dream at night. It's just flickering. You can say that it's just flickering thoughts, never stops. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Second question is from Tich Nu Tin Quang. And the question is, do you have anything you can say about lucid dreams?
Okay, lucid dream referring to our physical condition, which is a very clear mind, right? And probably the body is in a good condition, that the dream, like I said, clear, colorful. But when my body condition is not so good, my dream is vague, and then usually it's gray or black and white. Black and white still, it's very clear, but it's gray, then it's not clear. That is to say, my mind is not clear enough to really see it. And the so-called lucid dream is that our physical condition is better. We are more healthy in a sense. And usually lucid dream, we could remember it very clearly. So that's my experience.
Cheng York from the UK is saying, Amitofo Fashi, is emptiness the same as impermanence? And how do you apply the emptiness in daily life events? Thank you.
Well, emptiness, you have to experience the so-called impermanence to see the state is not fixed, and there's no entity, changing. But there's no entity of independent by itself. So it's in a state of changing all the time. And because of the changing here, then we realize the nature of things are empty. So that is to say, phenomena are there. All the phenomena are there, but its nature is empty itself. So in our daily life, first of all, the practice is that in the beginning, you will see to yourself, reflect on yourself, or have a keen watch on yourself. If we have this related to something that is greed, related to all our emotional afflictions, we try to see them as emptiness, which is to see them as, oh, they're coming because of many conditions that make it become like this. So we don't develop or expand this in this way. So that could be the first one, that we at least seeing it as empty. So to decrease our self-centeredness. And then when we have experienced something very good, right? Very wholesome and very good, then again, we try to apply this idea of causes and effects, causes and conditions. They're just temporary there. Notice it, it's okay. There's no need for us to be very elated with good praise and enjoyment. Then that's how we apply to it. And eventually now, because of this habit of the self, it's very strong there. Now, if we practice the so-called using the teaching from Diamond Sutras, then one day it's possible that our self-centeredness will dissolve. Okay.
Thank you. The next question is from V36, Hui Chun Shu. Life itself is a dream. Then why do we human beings develop the needs of sleeping and dreaming within a big dream?
You asked me why. We don't develop, it just works like this. We can't create anything. It just causes and condition that it's make like this. If we don't rest at night, you know what happens to you? Become insane if you don't sleep at night. But the problem that is that when we sleep at night, we don't rest. We just did not really rest ourselves. That's why we have dream. But if we are really having some sound sleep, they're saying it of the Buddhas, the teaching of the Buddhas, that if you have sound sleep 2 hours at night, then you will recover, you rejuvenate to become very healthy and happy in the daytime. Our problem nowadays is that we're thinking too much. And then we cannot avoid but dream all kinds of dreams, bad dreams. Usually if we have too much dreams, when we wake up in the daytime, we feel very tired because we keep on thinking. That's why I say that what I see in the dream is that just my thought, keep on going, never stop. So it may be there's a way of controlling ourselves, of being clear mind even when we're sleeping, so that we could stop ourselves. Oh, it's just a dream. I don't have to continue. And I just rest now.
So the next question is from Dan Huai Wang. Amitofu, thank you, Fashi, for the talk. I would like to ask if there is any meaning of dreams about ghosts. These occur to me occasionally. What do these mean and what should I do?
How do you know it's ghost? I have a question. You know it's ghost? Is it because this person passed away already, or what? Or is it the fearful figure? Or something that you don't know?
Don Juan, you could chat it and I can read the answer. Yes, they are ghosts by definition.
Okay. That is to say, you have some affinity with whatever that ghost is. You know, maybe you don't know, but you just have feeling that's a ghost. So they come, they're there. You know, there's a few things that you could do. One is that you just ignore it, whatever, you know, like, oh, it's just in my dream, whatever. But now, if it's constantly coming, you may do is that you may recite, you know, sutta for, say, I want to transfer the merits to this specific ghost that I dream of, you know, recite the sutta. Now, the meaning of reciting the sutta, actually, the sutta here is the teaching of the so-called let go, the teaching of emptiness. Like, say, you will recite the Diamond Sutra, right?
Right.
And in there, just talk about emptiness, you know, like a ghost is not a ghost. And then because exactly is that, because of that, then it's called a ghost. And keep on repeating.
I would like to ask, in fact, Fashi, I used to practice Theravada Buddhism. And from time to time, because my affinity with Theravada Buddhism is also with the Pali chants. I do not really chant Chinese Mandarin chants because my Mandarin is not very good. So I do the Pali chants. So from time to time, I play on my computer the whatever chants that I can find online. But I am also aware that there are certain chants that will invite sentient beings, and that I am careful also to not share merits to all sentient beings. Although what I do is I say in my meditation, in my evening meditation, I say, may all beings be well and happy. When I restarted, effectively, when I restarted my meditation after I've given birth to my child, my first child, I find that these dreams, they somehow, I have more dreams like this. They are ghosts, and one ghost came to me because they attach on the mail. Somebody sent me something. It so happened that the ghost is attached to the mail, and so I received the ghost. And because since I'm doing a PhD, the ghost is hanging around and has nothing to do, so I recommended the ghost to do a PhD, which it gladly did. And then I don't know what happened. And then there are also another dream that whereby there are some ghosts who will walk through the walls and the doors, and there is nothing gory about it. And then in that dream, it's just that they go on in a very normal life like any human beings would. So I realized that these dreams, they come to me after I have restarted my meditation here in France. I am in France, and I don't know if I am inadvertently inviting certain beings to myself or not. So yes, Fasil, I would really appreciate your comments on this. And what should I do? Yeah.
Okay, there's something that I need to clarify. When you say that you are doing some PhD, the
Yes.
ghost helping you, what does that mean?
No, that there is this. In the dream, I dreamt of somebody sending me a mail, and it's a haunted mill whereby there is a ghost attached to it. And then I recommended the ghost to do PhD. So yes, it is a very far-fetched thing, but what I am been wanting to say is that it doesn't happen to me in real life, but it comes to me in dreams. So there is a ghost team dream for me when I sleep. Yeah. Excuse me, this sounds a bit far-fetched, but I do have this problem.
Well, if you could do, you just ignore it
Okay.
in your dream. You know, come and go, just let it be. That's the first thing that you could do.
Okay.
Now, if it becomes very bothersome, you may read, you know, whatever sutras that you are familiar with. Buddhist sutra is fine, and transfer merit to, you know, the ghosts that you see, and that's okay. And of course, the way you say, you know, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be safe. That's good, you know, like you know, emitting our compassion to that. That's okay too. Fine.
Thank you. May I respectfully request that people not jump in, but that they use the chat, because there's some people ahead of you and it's just more there. So Rusmawati Rasman is asking, I dreamt for a few times with the same dream. Is it a kind of sending me a sign that something will happen in the dream?
Well, certain time, again, is related to our physical conditions, the conditions of our body, our speech, and also our mind. So these three things there, and we are in certain condition of that state of our bodies, you know, body and mind, and the dream may repeat constantly, and that's all. You don't have to see it as a certain sign that telling you, I mean, telepathy, but it's a sign that's saying that right now your physical condition and my condition is at that things. Maybe you need to improve, say, for example, your health. It's possible, you know. But if it's constantly you dream of being something that is clear and lucid, in a happy state, then you don't have to worry about it. It just your condition is at that moment or that period of time is like this.
At this point, there are no more questions. If anyone has a question, please feel free to write it down in the chat. Okay, Ron Chen has a question. How true is it that the Buddha nature's function is in sentient beings' dreams, and it is actually a game to achieve Buddhahood when our Buddha nature is already perfect?
We find that the Buddha nature is perfect only when we realize. But now we don't realize. So we have to go through this. If you want to call it a game, then you have to go through it. And just like when we are watching a play, right? People play on the stage. Those people are really playing well in their role as a prince, a princess, a servant, a scholar. They play their role well. Okay. And then when they get off from the stage, they knew it was just a play. For us, when we're watching it, if we are watching the play, we also very punch into the whatever that's on the play, right? And then when the play is over, we know the game is over. You want to say it, right? So just like our teachers say, what's this last phrase of departing? You know, with nothing to do, right? There's cry and laughter. And then, since I have to remember it in English, this time pause, right? So in emptiness, okay. So in emptiness, there's laughter, cry and laughter. And since there's no self in there, you know, everything could cast away, something like that. So knowing it, it's different than actualizing it. You haven't actualized it, so you have to live the way it's supposed to be, diligently. Buddhist practice, right? You cannot say that, oh, it's everything empty and I don't have to do anything. That is definitely wrong. Okay.
Thank you. Martin Choi has a question. Fasha, would you recommend meditating before we go to bed to improve the quality of our sleep and dreams?
Yes, you could meditate before you go to sleep. But the suggestion with before going to sleep is that we don't use any method at all. Don't use your method, right? So the posture, you just sit and then you just relax yourself. And then you will let whatever happens on that day, on the day, the things that we encounter with people, that the things that we're working, the thing with the computer, let they come and go by themselves. Maybe 20 minutes or so. So you kind of cleanse whatever that's on the day, and then you go to bed. When you go to bed like this, you're more at ease. Yeah, that is it, recommended.
Thank you. Ron Chen, yes, otherwise we're stuck here. I guess that relates to the other question that he posed, which is about Buddha nature, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So Martin Choi says thank you, and Rasmawati Rastman says thank you, Fasha.
Okay. So I think it's okay for now. We end this period here. Now, thank you very much for everyone to attend. And thank you, Ricky. And then we have some background IT group here supporting us.
Yeah.
Thank you for people from all over the world. We even have someone from Indonesia. That's to my surprise.
Wow. Great. Great.
Thank
May
you.
I just say one thing, like an advertisement? If you enjoyed this lecture, please keep your eyes on the schedule for Dharma Drum Retreat Center. We're having another talk. Rebecca Lee will be back and many other things going on. So please keep in touch and join us again. Thank you.
Thank you.